It's 7 o'clock. Let's call the meeting to order. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. Has everybody read the minutes?
I'm just going over real quickly. I haven't seen that.
Take your time. I do want to comment that since Tom has come on board, our minutes are looking much more professional, and I'd really like to thank him for that. Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Oh, we discussed that earlier. The other guy was like a temporary guy, so, you know, it wasn't that big a deal. But yeah, these are definitely great minutes.
While Jim is going over the minutes, let me just make a motion that we sign the warrants. We have a payroll warrant, a payroll deduction warrant, and a vendor warrant. I'll make a motion that we sign all those warrants and accept those as received. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Tom, on posting committee meetings, what's the latest on that? In terms of what Rick and Jack have talked about?
As I understand it, we're trying to find a solution that meets all parties' needs, and I believe that Rick has come up with a fine suggestion of asking the part-time secretary here in the office, Laura Dove, to take on that job, and I've been able to set up an email for her. I have yet to actually inform her, but we'll have to send out some instructions because she's only here on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay.
So it's not a complete solution for people, but for those committees that get their meeting notices done a little bit early before the 48-hour deadline, it should be very helpful.
Okay, and again, let me emphasize that the committee chairs are responsible for making sure the postings are done on time. Diane?
Yes.
Why don't we take you next?
Okay.
You want to appoint Mary McClintock as an interim member of the planning board?
I do. Mike resigned, as you know.
Mhm.
We're very sorry to lose him because he had such long-term association with the planning board with a lot of institutional knowledge. However, family and job called him. And so we were sitting around saying, who should we propose? And quickly, Dave Chichester said, why not Mary McClintock? And instantly everyone said, what a good idea. And
So Mary has the full support of the planning board.
Of the full support of the plan.
And she attended our first meeting
Okay.
Yes.
last board.
So we are proposing Mary.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to the board that we appoint Mary McClintock as an interim member of the planning board to take the place of Mike Kirkalonis. Do I have a second?
Can we have a little discussion?
I don't think there's need for discussion. The planning board has told us they're fully in support of bringing Mary on.
Well, I'd like to hear from Mary.
I also, just a side comment, I think this is supposed to be a joint meeting of both boards. We're all allowed to vote.
Okay. Would you guys like to take a vote first?
No, we should vote. I think we're supposed to all vote together.
As a group?
As a group. It's a joint meeting. to-
Oh,
to
it is a
fill the
joint
seat.
It turns out it's by law.
Really?
It's supposed
By
to
law,
be
it's a joint.
by law, yeah.
But I would love to hear from you.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, the discussion just has to do with the fact that we've been requested to appoint her, but of course it makes sense that we should hear from the candidate herself as to her hopes and interests in the committee, or the board in this case.
Yeah, I was sort of surprised to get a call from Diane, but also intrigued and like the idea. I've been thinking for a while of wanting to do more in Conway. I do a lot of volunteer stuff in Franklin County, larger Franklin County, and I thought, oh, this could be an interesting way to get involved. And I had read the master plan that the planning board had prepared, and thought that was very interesting, and it seems like there's a number of interesting topics coming up potentially, so seems like a great idea to me.
And you think you can work with this group?
That was a key factor in my thinking about this. I was thinking, and I was like thinking about who was on the committee, and I was thinking, well, Dave was on the emergency shelter committee, and no Diane from other situations, no Dave from other situations, and known Joe for a long time. It's like, yeah, this is a lively group. I could be involved in this.
All right, excellent.
Okay, so the motion's on the table,
I would like to second that motion.
okay? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I think you're unanimously approved, Mary, by both the select board and the planning board.
Thank
So
you. Thank you.
congratulations, welcome aboard.
Our condolences, right?
And do I have to do some kind of official signing in, I mean, a
You-
swearing
you
in
have-
Swearing in.
thing that happens
You
every year?
have to see the town clerk, and she will swear you in.
Ginny will track
Okay.
you
Right,
down.
our town administrator will facilitate.
And also, I think
Okay.
Ginny would have you take a look at the open minute law and sign that you've read it and understand it.
Okay.
And then also conflict of interest. That's another one we all had to sign.
Oh, conflict of interest,
And now,
There's a test,
okay.
right,
an online test.
Online.
and you're aware of the anti-knitting rule?
I'll just put my knitting away now that I'm official.
I mean, before and after is okay, but during the meeting,
During the
right,
meeting.
Diane? Am I correct
Oh,
about that one?
I don't know if I'm gonna talk.
All right, okay, all right, just want to bring that issue up early.
She claims to do her best thinking when she's knitting.
Maybe we can make an exception then.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you all for coming in.
Thank you.
And
Congratulations, ladies.
Thank you, Mary,
Rick,
and all of you
Dave,
for your fine work.
and I'm saying
Arthritis
too.
down in
Okay.
those fingers.
Without granted.
Hey, how you doing?
Well, I get that of this.
Hey, how are you?
all right, we'll go back to the minutes. I'd like to make a motion now that everybody has reviewed the minutes to approve the minutes of the September 23rd meeting. Do I have a second?
Second. I saw a typo, but that's not big.
All in favor?
Aye.
Let me know what the typo is, we don't need executive action on that.
No.
Okay, next item on the agenda is the proposal from Community Action for joint funding to winterize homes for low-income residents. Sue, you're up.
Okay, well, this is pretty straightforward. It is something that I and others tried to work on about 4 years ago, and we didn't get it. We got it started, and then it somehow didn't have support in the treasurer's office. Now I think that's not a problem. And we've been talking to Peter Wingate of Community Action, who oversees the fuel assistance for people of modest means here in town. As you can see from the first paragraph of this, in Franklin and Hampshire counties, they give about 7,500 houses fuel assistance in the winter. In this town, about 40 houses. And one of the sad things about that program, in general, it's a wonderful program, keeps people healthy, keeps people functioning, etc. But is that some of the houses to which fuel assistance is offered are very leaky. They really aren't well winterized. And so the proposal here from Community Action is that they partner with us to winterize 10 houses a year for the next 5 years. They put in $30,000, we put in $30,000. About, as you can see here from the memo, it's about $6,000 on average to do a house, to really get it tight and fuel efficient. And they would, at their own expense, if this all goes through and we're interested in this, go in and do a basic energy audit on all 40 of the houses. He actually believes there are more that are eligible. If there were a generic general means test, we have more people who need these programs then are taking advantage of them. That's not being addressed here, but it's just FYI. We could broaden this at some point if we were trusted and trusted to keep things confidential, because the people who are taking advantage of this program are not named if they're anonymous. So I think this is a terrific opportunity. They would do an audit of all 40 homes, more if they can find them. And that would be at their own expense, just to see, kind of to get a prioritized list of which houses are so inefficient that fuel is being burned needlessly, and there are a lot of them. And then they would come to us and say, well, we've got the 10 and here's our $30,000, can you put yours up? And I hope we can say yes. I think this is really an offer we can, this is a wonderful proposal, I think. And I hope the select board will be behind it. I'm mindful that you need to go to town meeting to get this funded, is that correct?
If we go to the Guilford Trust Fund, we would not.
You do not,
We're
okay.
the trustees, so that would be our decision.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
It's not town meeting.
all right, well,
Yeah,
my
they
mistake.
want to do the audits first, and then prioritize
Mhm.
before they're looking for funding, correct?
Yes, but, I mean, they won't do the audits unless we agree to the proposal.
You have another question over there, Tom?
Yeah,
If we were to sign a contract that went for over 3 years, we would have to have it approved by town meeting.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thank
There
you.
may be a way to structure it so we don't have to do that.
Mhm.
We would have to get into a 5-year contract with them, is that the way this works?
No, I think they would be open to.
1 year at a time?
One year renewable for 5 years or something like that.
Mhm.
I think they want to
That's
know.
the
That's the way
5-year
we-
contract.
It is
That's
it?
the way we usually.
Well, then we can go back to them and say, that, thank you, Tom, that we can go back to them and say, that we can't sign up for 5 years, but would they accept 3 years? I mean, I wouldn't be ashamed to go back
Or
and say that.
2 years, depending, you can't go 3, so if it's a 2-year, whatever. I think at this point, we just have
You
to.
can go 3.
What
can go 3.
what I'd like to see is a copy of the contract they're looking for us to sign on this.
Okay,
And there are certain guidelines for the Guilford Fund. I mean,
you know, people of modest means, I think, sort of
Yeah.
covers it. I've read the.
I don't know, I don't know
I actually
what
have a
determines
copy.
modest means anymore.
Well, that's my term, but I actually have read the Guilford
Okay.
Trust many times and have a copy of it, and I think this fits it about as neatly as anything could.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, if we could get more information from Community Action on how
Just
they want to structure
kind-
this,
Yeah,
that's great.
okay,
I
and
think in principle, it's a good idea.
I
think
agree.
the board would
Thank you.
agree with that.
That's a great idea.
thank you so much. I think that's it.
Okay, thank you for coming in, Sue.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
And have a good evening. Are you staying for more meetings?
I didn't think I would, but anyway, should I?
You can if you like.
Oh, all right.
Open meeting.
Food, drinks?
No,
Sorry. That would make it more interesting.
Well,
I know
Tom, you don't want to say anything about going across the street after a select board meeting, all right? That could get you in
No,
trouble.
this is during this.
Oh, dear.
All right, next item on the agenda, proposal to use the highway department to clean grounds around the stream at the school. Bruce, come on up into the hot seat. Yeah.
gosh.
Come on down, Bruce.
How you doing?
Yeah.
See you.
How you doing, sir?
End of festival weekend there.
Yeah. Dry out?
Yeah, it's all right, I was working on drawing stuff out all day. As you know, I've been employed by the town of Conway, well, to let you know, 12 years, 10 years being a school custodian. I take care of the place like it's my own, but that project that I outlined in my little letter is too big. I had approached Concom casually a few years back, and Judge Walden said, yeah, Bruce, as long as you can cut most anything back as long as you leave the root systems. He talked to Bob Baker, and Bob mentioned it's just nothing ever got done. and I think it's time to drive by such a beautiful municipal property and barely be able to see it. I think it's time we clean it up, and if Concom gives us their blessing, because I've just filed the RDA
Okay.
with them, and tomorrow I'll be mailing the other copy with DEP on Dwight Street. We know what a wonderful job they do down there. And it might come to a site survey before, or if we get the blessing, but yeah, I'd love to hack and whack back to what it was 20 years ago. It was a beautiful farm, and we have a beautiful property, and I'm sure you guys noticed when the lawn is mowed or when they brush hog, it looks pretty good, but it'd really be nice to improve that whole sight line. And then as a passerby, you've got a 15-second drive-by, you might, a little, like I said, a little more security might be added to the school, the comings and goings, and I think that is, itself is an issue, that cutting back this ugly bushes of crap down there.
Okay.
Just want help. If we get the okay, I want your blessing, and I'm sure Ronnie could use his machinery. Maybe we'd have to take some stuff out with chainsaws. Honestly, some of those trees that you see are half dead or half rotten. If the tree warden has to be involved, make it so, then he can tell us which ones aren't worth saving, or keep it. Some of them actually grow out of the stream bed. So another issue of mine would be in the right storm or wrong storm, one or two of those trees comes down, blocks the stream, and then we flood 116, and you have to call me and open up the damn shelter.
Right.
Strike there.
Hey, you're on TV, you can't swear.
Yeah, darn.
Yeah.
Enough said by me?
Yeah.
I think as long as Concom is okay with what you want to do and DEP is okay with it, yeah, the highway department should be able to help.
It'd be a great November project for those guys, and
Yeah.
poison ivy's gone, etc.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey,
did you see the pictures of the, or you've driven by it?
Yeah.
Yes, no, I think it's a wonderful project, and I support it wholeheartedly.
We'll keep you posted on what we hear from the DEP, etc.
Okay.
Because Judy was behind it all the way too.
I hear through the grapevine you're gonna do fine.
We'll see. I think, yes, I believe Mr. Gates said to us, we just have to stick with the official one with the DEP.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great.
Our friends on Dwight Street.
Yeah.
Gentlemen,
Bruce.
I am going home to just over a pound of steamers, so sorry about the refreshments.
All right, keep
Good
up
night.
the good work, thank you.
See ya. Thanks, Tommy.
All right, next item on the agenda.
Side note,
Yeah.
can someone get a light for this back parking lot? Because I moved out of there. 'Cause
We're working on
It's
it.
dangerous.
All right, we're gonna turn on the timer
Are you
right
in there now?
No, I drove out of the town parking lot, parked on the street where there's ample lighting.
All right,
Okay.
motion detector. We're
All right,
done.
we've got feedback from both our police chief and our highway super on the Burkeville covered bridge. We've gotten their recommendations. Tom, as soon as they can figure out what they want to do with the millstone that's on this side of the bridge and where they want to place that, I think we'll, when that's done, we will take a vote to open the bridge. All right, so coordinate with the police chief and the highway super to move that millstone.
And probably the granite posts,
Oh,
that are
absolutely.
there.
Absolutely.
Well,
Yeah, and we'll decide, have them make a recommendation where they want to put that. Okay, next item on the agenda is your update, Tom.
Yeah, first and most importantly, I believe there is cause to call a special town meeting this fall, and we'll have a draft warrant for you next time. Articles so far would include, that I've been made aware of, an audit of fiscal year 2013 funds, which is necessary if we want to have a borrowing article on the annual town meeting for a town garage. Spending current highway funds for a used plow truck, transferring from stabilization for a highway pickup truck, and paying out personnel liabilities, which we could wait for the annual town meeting, if people thought that was desirable, and transferring money for a new copier for the town office. We've had them out here 3 times in the last 2 weeks, and we're 10 years old and really on its last legs, the parts aren't being made anymore, that sort of thing. For highway, Ron Sweet and I met with Maureen Mullaney from the Franklin Regional Council of Governments and 2 Mass DOT staff to assess the possibility of asking for federal funding for North Poland Road, Main Poland Road, a federally funded highway. Initial indications were that the changes required for federal funding would substantially widen the road, which would be physically problematic in some sections and possibly not supported by residents. Problems of drainage in general and specifically of water coming up through the road are still present, however. So we're waiting for Mass DOT's response. We're going to see what they say, and then we're going to try to focus in on that one section where the water comes up through the road. And the Highway Department is returning to their 5-day work week starting next week. For fire, on Bob Baker's recommendation, I signed a non-compete agreement for a grant between the Department of Fire Services and fire departments to provide CPR training to 6th grade students, including those at the Conway Grammar School. Whately's the lead town. We're simply not competing with them on that grant. This is the 2nd year they've been doing it. I didn't think there'd be any problem with that. Building maintenance, I've compiled a building maintenance schedule and have had input from both Rick and Ron. I'll see if I can get an estimate as to how much work that maintenance schedule represents. I believe it would make sense to have the function eventually taken over by highway, as there are equipment and skill functions that overlap. Some committees have been working. The garage building planning, town garage planning committee recommends using the Franklin Regional Council of Governments to procure an owner's project manager and design services. We'll need to update the town's designer selection policy as well, which I should have next time, along with a contract for Council of Government services. And I should have a contract for that ready. They'll be meeting in the interim, so things are proceeding apace there. Just FYI, the moderator has appointed Roy Cohen and Tanya Campbell to the Finance Committee. For administrative things, all of the town computers are now protected by the advanced antivirus program that has been available to some of us. More people are able to scan documents in the copier, but not everybody. So if we did put that on the next warrant, it would be about $5,000 for a new copier. Rick has let me know that there is a practice of having an all-committee, all-department meeting some evening in the fall. I'll propose a date at the next meeting, presumably early November, early to mid-November, I'll say at this point. Maya has announced the availability, our insurer, Maya, has announced the availability of loss control and risk management grants, and I'm considering applying for both. Under loss control, we might be able to get a safety trailer paid for that would have traffic cones, vests, etc. that could be towed to an emergency site. Under risk management, we might be able to get an audit of our human resources functions together with an action plan for improvement. I've asked the Personnel Committee for their input, and I have learned that we will receive a resignation from that committee from the Select Board appointee sometime soon, so we'll also have to think about who we want to appoint. That will bring it down under its quorum. Mm-hmm. And I'll be distributing a draft revision of town hall rental equipment prices for your input. We have a policy on renting town hall. Attached to that is a schedule of fees, and I have some proposed updates to that.
Great. Good work.
Very good, very good. Thank you, Tom.
Thanks.
Okay, next item on the agenda, concerns of the selectmen. Do we have any concerns? Rick?
No concerns. I will just jump up there. Meetings attended by select board members. I'll be really quick. The FERCOG has got a number of presentations they have over the next few months, and last Thursday was their second one, and that was, I forget the title, it was basically an overview of the FERCOG services. How is FERCOG helpful to you? So it's presented by Linda Dunleavy, the head of the FERCOG, and 2 staff members, Phoebe and somebody else. So it was attended by probably about 20 people, mostly select board members, and it was very comprehensive overview of what they do. So I brought that back and I shared a few things with our town administrator and feel strongly that the dues we pay for them are well earned. So it's very informative and I think helpful.
I have a question, or maybe I need to speak to Ron, that we need a new plow truck or used plow truck and a highway pickup truck. I thought we had adequate equipment.
Yeah, we'll have to get more information on that.
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay, as you are aware, I am now the FERCog, I am now the Conway representative to the FERCog, and I am also volunteered to be on their finance committee, so I will be doing that for FERCog. Any other concerns? Okay. We got a thank you email from Carolyn Casey, who's the Executive Director of Project 351, in connection with our approval last week of Caitlin Burnett's idea to have a road race here in Conway to raise money for them. So we got a very nice email from her thanking us. Have you seen this?
Yes.
Okay. Great. Okay, that's it for the mail. Any other announcements, Tom, that we have?
No.
No? Okay. Next meeting is scheduled for the 21st of October. Any other concerns, questions, comments before we?
One quick thing, the next FERCog presentation is on school financing, and they've invited 2 state level mucky mucks to come and explain that. So given our recent finance committee concerns and select board concerns about the huge increase in the amount of money that Conway spends for Frontier specifically, I think attendance of that instructional meeting would be a great idea. So.
When
I think it's the 23rd, it's the next one, it might be October 23rd, but it's on their website.
Okay, also for Frontier, I will be on their committee to basically put together a process and basically have some common nomenclature among all the select boards and the regional districts so that we know exactly how their process is and what their formula is for the annual assessments. So I'll be working on that as well.
Yeah. Actually, I'll take one more opportunity, and that'll be at promise. So since we do, have the camera here, and a few people hopefully, or a number of people hopefully watch this presentation. Since there's not a lot of people here, I believe Dave Chichester is still in the audience, but I know that the tax bill went out recently, and in that there was a small explanation to do with the fact that this latest tax bill being presented to the public is the same as the last one from last year because of an illness in the assessor's office. So the explanation had to do with the fact that the next bill, which will be in the spring, will be a bit higher than normally because we're not putting the increase in this first bill because we just kind of used that last one as a placeholder, let's say. And this year, the amount of increase in our town budget was quite dramatic, again, due to the majority of that being due to the large increase in the assessment for Frontier. That was, I think, about $190,000 increase in 1 year. So I think there's been a little bit of like, whoa, what's going on here? So if people are interested in knowing more about town finances and why tax bills are set and how the budget works, you can always come in and talk with either a town administrator or a town treasurer, and your questions will be answered. The answer to keeping tax rates down is complicated, but hopefully we'll try to work on this whole school budget situation and maybe try to keep that from going up the way it did this year. you go.
Okay. Anything else? Yeah, actually, all of the, part of the budget that the Finance Committee and the Select Board had control of was basically level funded. The big increase was in the assessment that we got from the regional school district. And again, on that committee to find out exactly how we can work to keep the surprises from happening in the future, since our assessment from the regional school district this year went up 18%. That translated into what had to happen with our taxes this year. Okay, I will make a motion that we adjourn the meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thanks for coming, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
Well.